Hey there everybody, I am here to explain the driver's side engine mount on my MazdaSpeed MX-5. Here to see the differences between the MazdaSpeed and the regular NB2 Miata. Here we go. This is the driver's side upper A-arm. If you can see right there in the middle of the screen, that's actually the small turbo that the MazdaSpeed MX-5 comes with. And the engine mount, the top side of it, if you can see it, is right there in the middle. So what looks like you might have to do, and we'll see once I get into it, is that screw that's pointing down right there, that is holding some sort of bracket to the turbo. And then that gold looking bolt there. And there's another one, I believe, here on the other side. You can't really see it. There's one down there, if the camera will focus. Not really, but you'll see it. You see it right there. And then there's a third one down here. This is the bracket that holds the engine mount of the car on the driver's side. It sits in the car actually like this. The bottom bolt is, I think, the same as an NB2 Miata, like a standard one. But then the three up here are those copper looking ones. And then obviously you have your nut that holds in the driver's side engine mount from this side. And the part that I think is unique to the MazdaSpeed is this bracket right here. As you can see, there are these two larger looking bolts than what I've seen on other NB2 Miatas. And then there's this one here that attaches to the turbo. Those two copper bolts go to the bottom two holes here. And then there's a third one that has a smaller thread, or shorter thread, that goes into the top right here. You've got your cap here that the engine mount goes into. Obviously the top of it, you see these two teeth, they fit into the two holes here so that you don't install it upside down. Here's my old one, obviously a little squished, a little crooked. And then this new guy, obviously a little bit taller and less compromised, hopefully. Now, what made removing this difficult for me is, I mean, on top of all of the other probably difficult experiences you've seen on YouTube. So those are the three holes that I was talking about earlier. But getting this thing out was, there's not a lot of room to work with. You've got your steering shaft here. You've got your downpipe here. It's really tight in there. So basically what I ended up doing is once I ended up undoing the bottom part, I realized something about this side versus the other side that may prove helpful. This is my passenger side engine mount. This is the only bolt on the other side that I loosened while lifting the engine. The reason why is, as you can see here, this bolt slides up when the engine is lifted. Just, I would say, keep the nut on so that it doesn't fall off and potentially misalign the engine. What that does is when you're lifting the engine, instead of it kind of coming up like this, it still comes up in that direction, but the other side can rise with it. And that gave me enough room to actually get that bottom stud out of the subframe on the driver's side and get the mount out. Now, the casing was still difficult. I actually did not remove the entire thing in one assembly. I took the cap out first. And then I kept the assembly in, but kind of had it facing upward where the other nut on the inside of the engine mount was. And I loosened that bolt so that I could disassemble it while it was still in the car, but not attached to it. So I reattached the mount to the bracket. So it actually all went in one piece somehow. And the way I made that work is I actually dropped it in from the top of the engine, just kind of found an angle that would work. At least that's like as close to the way it's supposed to sit in the car as possible. And basically the way I dropped it in was I dropped it in like you see it right now. That little corner on the left slips right into this gap right here where the turbo is. And as you can see, there's some heat shielding missing. So this is kind of interesting. It looks like the MazdaSpeed MX-5 actually has 3 pieces to its exhaust manifold heat shield. I've seen other NB Miatas, looks like they have like just one big piece, but as you can see here, there's 3 different pieces. There's this one at the top. I have a missing bolt here. I don't know how that happened. And then there's a second piece here. There's a third piece that looks like this. It just has 2 10mm bolts, and they screw in right where the turbo is, right there. So I removed that, and that gave me just enough clearance to slip the mount and its bracket past this side. And with the engine lifted up pretty high here, you can kind of see this plastic clip. It was about to come in contact with this line here, but thankfully I think we're still in a safe position. For the like water shield kind of thing, I actually, so I forgot to put it in the last clip, if you could see that, but I stuck it in there separately from the assembly and then actually put it together using that bottom hole near the subframe. See this ridge right there on the edge of the engine mount bracket? You can put a pry bar there and kind of angle it up against this downpipe. There's a little tab right there that seems pretty strong and reinforced. And you can use it when you're raising and lowering the engine to try to get these bolt holes to line up. You can use that ridge and that reinforced part to move the bracket around so that your bolt holes line up. And I was able to thread this top bolt in first. It's not part of the bracket that attaches to the turbo, so I feel pretty confident about, you know, that one staying stable while I get the rest of them in. And hopefully that helps you all out. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in future videos. Bye-bye.